So I've been playing around with this turbine fan for a couple of days now, and the clutch mechanism, the freewheeling mechanism, failed on me. So I disassembled it. Turns out the leather band that was supposed to be clamped with this small nail in this hole right there, it just worked itself loose, and the connection basically failed. It was supposed to be a test on this part, the center hub. There are virtually no signs of wear whatsoever. So in principle it works. I just have to improve on this band brake. So I already cut a new strip of leather. I'm going to take one end of it, fold that end over on itself, like so. Apply a couple of drops of super glue, and hopefully that will prevent this new leather strip from working itself loose. Something like that should work. And that should be enough. Always clean your nozzle. What's better than one clamp? Two clamps. I'll return when the glue is dried. The glue is dried. I've taken the clamps off. It's fairly rigid and solid. Maybe it would have been enough to just drench the first 1 or 2 millimeters of this leather strip with a bit of super glue. So maybe I could have skipped the folding over part. That would have solidified the leather enough so that it wouldn't have popped out anymore. But now this is ready, I'm gonna go with this. I already test fitted into the slot there. It's fairly simple. Just fold it over with a tiny bit of slack on the left side and insert it into the slot all the way to the bottom. Fold it around like that. And then comes the tricky part. This 3 millimeter nail has to go into the center of the leather strip right there. The trick is not to push the leather strip into the hole, just the nail into the center of the leather. It takes a bit of twisting. One trick that will work is press it firmly against the outside of the hole, and as you're pushing the nail, twist and rotate it. And it's already in about ½ a centimeter. Apply some pressure. Take a pair of pliers and really push down on it. A bit more. This time I'm gonna add a washer to the bearing. Run a bolt through there. Thread this on a couple of threads, it's enough, just for testing purposes. And now take a small screwdriver and fold that leather strip around the drum. It actually is a bit tight. It was okay before. Where is it touching? It seems the stick out of this folded over part down at the bottom is too much. So that's the part that's touching the drum. I don't think that's a problem, but I just don't like it, so I'm gonna refit that. I actually pushed a bit of the leather into the hole at the bottom. I'm gonna snip this off. I'm gonna retry. Push this into the slot. Try it again. That's a good sign. Again, a washer. Run the bolt through. Thread it on a bit. That's okay. I think I'm pleased with this. Now I have to determine the length of the brake band. Just run this alongside it. This is the original one, the failed one. I'm going to shorten it slightly, about this much. I'm going to cut this to a pointy tip. That's nice and pointy. And then right there near the middle. That's all very scientific. About here. That's a nice hole. And now as an extra trick, we're gonna do what I didn't do for this strap. I'm gonna use some more super glue. I put a few drops onto here and let that set. So let that dry for a while. I'll return when that's done. The glue has dried. It solidified nicely, and that really helped with mounting this little spring. I somehow have to convince the spring to stay in this recess until I've added the brake drum. And I can already tell that that's going to be a challenge. First let's do this, or I'm never going to be able to center the washer. Okay. Now this spring into the recess. I somehow managed to do it. Yeah, that's good. The spring is in its recess. It might be hard to tell on camera, but there's that little eye of the spring. I have to pull that over and add that second nail to fix that spring in place. Let's try it like this. This works. Only now I haven't got enough hands. Push the screwdriver between the first coils of the spring. Center it right under the hole. Push the nail in. And eureka, it's done. Phew. I only need the slightest bit of play. Something like this should do it. Set on the counter nut. There, fixed it. So I hope this coupling will last longer than the last one. Okay then. Reattach this ring. Watch out for the recess that goes over these two nail heads. Something like this. Every good engineer is a lazy engineer. That's tight enough. Okay. Time to add the blades. "18 blades. And the last one. Okay. And now add the spinner to lock all the blades in place. Good enough. Tighten this direction, loosen that one. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.